Welcome everybody to another day of the ASL. We're now in Group D, a star-studded lineup: Snow, Jaedong, a couple others, and of course joining me on the desk today is the one and only Eonzerg.
Hello everyone, I'm so glad to be able to cast this amazing group. It's so exciting to see to this day Jaedong still playing and going strong.
Heck yeah, man. Everybody loves Jaedong. I want to see if he can bring it this season. Last season, unfortunately, both him and Shuttle, I remember, I think got coronavirus and they had to play from home, so they definitely weren't playing in top form. But this time around, hopefully they won't get sick and maybe they'll have a better performance this time. But they got an already tough group. Snow there, Bishop there, Jaedong, and then of course Shuttle. And we're going to get into interviews first off with Snow, and I'm sure he's feeling confident about his group, especially since he's facing off versus Bishop. And I think Snow has the best PvT in the world. This guy, it's hard to damage him. He's got sick carriers, he's got sick macro, can also play arbiters. Very dangerous player.
I think Snow is I mean, if you ask me, he's like very solid in all the matchups. Because even in PvC, that you can tell he struggles, like the fundamentals that are very strong for him, in my opinion. When you see the way he plays the late game, the way he approaches like multi-asset, like he loves to shuttle us so much in PvC. It's a very fun player to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's surprising that his multitask is so good because Snow actually is one of the few pros that is sub 300 APM. Often when I see him on stream, he's hovering around 250, 280 APM. But when you watch him play, he looks slow, but his macro and micro is crazy. And he also is, like you mentioned, his PvZ is top notch. I think about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, we started to see the +2 armor play. And I think he was one of the few, he might have been the first player actually to innovate that playstyle. I had never seen it before until he actually showed it. So he may have something planned if he has a game versus Jaedong versus Zerg.
Now what? Yeah, the plus.
Go ahead.
The +1 armor you mentioned, that was shocking to me to see people on the ladder, like making +1 attack and then like +3 armor. I never seen that in my life before. Like people used to focus more on the Greg's attacks, right? And that was something created by Snow. Do you mention? I have no idea. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he created it, but he's definitely the first person I saw use it, because I remember, just like you, okay, he's got +1 weapon, +2 is going to come, and then it never did. It was +2 armor, and I think the reason for it is, yes, there's a breakpoint with +1, you know, versus Zerglings, but +2, 20 damage, that's not really a breakpoint versus Hydras. They're always going to regen that additional health. But the shields, or the armor, I mean, really does help you versus the Hydras. I think it forces Hydras to attack 2 or 3 more times, and that is a big deal, actually. So he may have come up with an even different way to upgrade if we get into PvZ. Now, you mentioned the other day that actually the guy in the middle, Bishop here, him and Jaedong faced off in the qualifiers, and Bishop took Jaedong down. Do you remember how Bishop actually killed him? Was it Valkyrie play, which we've seen in the meta, or something else?
Sadly, I only saw the bracket.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless,
it's really like there are usually no streams from qualifiers, or they are like too early in the morning to catch them. It's a bit hard.
Yeah, that is true. They are really early in the morning. For me right now, it's 5 in the morning, but here I am. I'm definitely not missing ASL. You know, it only happens 1 or 2 times a year, so I'm definitely not going to miss it. Now, what about Shuttle? We've talked about how strong Snow is, and everybody knows how strong Jaedong is. What are your thoughts on Shuttle's chances in this group?
You know, Shuttle can be such a dangerous player, because I don't feel like this is the guy that plays. I mean, I'm going to put it with an example of effort against Shuttle. Like if you tell me, okay, Eon, do you think effort has any chance to beat Shuttle? I'm going to say 100%. Like there is no chance of like effort with 500 AP and lose to Shuttle any game. And then you see Shuttle like the guy just doesn't die. He's able to defend so well, and like his defense is so strong at times that he can like hold huge armies. Players commit, and then they are in troubles, and they end up like losing games that are not supposed to lose, or because they're lacking resources, or they just overcommit. I see this player of Shuttle that he's not only playing to win, but he's playing to, because if you see his strats and everything, it all like tell a different story from different protos. It's not always like the most optimized build, but it's more like sometimes I see that the guy like making so many shuttles and river drops and HT drops and DT drops, um, and just like doing small skirmishes. Um, it's not always like, to me he plays to shine and not exactly to get the win, even if win is the most important. In my opinion, what really shines from him is the play style.
Okay, well, we'll be looking for that playstyle. You know, when I was trying to get some insight into PvZ, actually Shuttle, like many other pros, has a YouTube channel, and one of the first PvZ VODs that I came across, or tutorials I mean, was from Shuttle. And even if you can't understand Korean, you can definitely check them out and understand some of the concepts. I remember one of them in particular, he was talking about how to deal with Zerg when they go for that split map style that Larva likes to play. And one of his answers to seeing mass drones, mass hatches, really powered up Zerg was he ended up going mass goons with a Reaver bust. So I wonder if we may see something like that versus Jaedong if Jaedong goes for a split map style.
Exactly, he's not really afraid to try like you mentioned, what you just mentioned, a bus of dragoons and rivers. That is not really common. That is something I can see Shuttle doing, for example. That is very unique to him.
Yeah, he's definitely very innovating. Just like Best is also very innovating. We saw him in a previous group. That's one of the main things that I like about Best is in PvT. Of course, not the same as PvZ. He's pulling out D-Web. He's pulling out feedback versus science vessels. He's pulling out so much stuff that you don't see. And in fact, I think in the Best game we saw last week, or maybe it was a different Protoss, there was a Dark Archon and ended up feedbacking a Defiler. That's not something you see often, and got the kill there. So, sure, Shuttle will have something planned. But what about Snow versus Bishop? You have any insight into Bishop's play in PvT? Have you seen any of his games?
Bishop has to be one of the most interesting players in the ASL, because not long ago he was playing random. I'm pretty sure he qualified for ASL with random at some point. Maybe I'm mistaken this. Or maybe he won like ACS with random or something like that. I don't remember exactly what happened. But like he actually found like success playing random. And now he's back with Terran in this ASL. But I'm going to be telling you the truth is that if you put me Snow against Flash, I will say that Snow has a chance to beat him. Now, if we put Snow against Bishop, I think it's going to be like uphill battle pretty much for Bishop, to be honest. He's going to really play for it, but you know what? It's a best of one. This is a random player. He's a guy that prepares builds, because when you are random, it's impossible to master everything. So you need to master the most effective builds, probably. So who knows?
You know exactly what you said about Snow versus Flash. I had the same thoughts. I'm not even kidding. I was thinking about this last night. Is there any Terran player in PvT I would take versus Snow? Honestly, unless it's light, Probably not. I would probably favor Snow in every single game, Protoss versus Terran. And even if he's an underdog, it would be something very slight, like 45 to 55. This guy's defense is so nuts. He's going to be taking base. You try and Vulture Harass, it does nothing, he's going to take a base. You try and do a timing push, his Reaver's going to kill everything, he's taking bases. You let him get to late game, he's going carriers. And you better have Econ versus it, because you know he's going to, and he's going to have tons of carriers. So, like you said, this is going to be a very uphill battle for Bishop. I do remember he did play random, and I do know he has switched to Terran. I think random, you just have to learn too many matchups. It's too hard when you're at this level to learn that many matchups. So I am glad to see that he's back focusing on just Terran.
Yeah. Just like I wanted to tell you one little thing is that what you mentioned about Snow is that he's like very efficient with his resources. He's like very, very efficient.
Yeah, I mean, Snow is just insane. I do think that he's going to make it into the winners match, but you know, so far this season we've already had 2 upsets. Mini gone, Soma fan favorite to go all the way to the finals. He's gone. Anything can happen this season. There was the question.
Hurts.
Huh? Go ahead.
It still hurts.
It still hurts. Yeah, I was looking at the Team Liquid thread and the reactions, and yeah, a lot of people were very disappointed in Soma. Maybe he was overconfident in his group. Really didn't look like the type of player that you were expecting from him, at least from the results.
By the way, we didn't talk about Jaedong at all. I'm going to just say about Jaedong is that this guy, when he plays in public, in front of all these people, this is not the same player that you face on ladder or playing online with in this pro league. This is a different beast. This is a guy that is going to be ready to punish you no matter what.
Yeah, that is true. And if we get a zoom in on his face at any point, you will see the intensity that he's bringing when he's in the game. He's a stone cold killer. He's going to rip your throat out if he ever sees a moment where you're weak. He's somebody like Eonzerg. Any opening, he's going to take advantage of it, and you better be ready. We're getting a look at our groups. Of course, we've got Snow Bishop, Shuttle, Jaedong today. Tomorrow, it is going to be Queen, Ruin, Shine, and Mong. That's going to be a quite strong group. Mong is very good Terran. Ruin's up and coming. Shine, he always does well in ASL. Queen, he's probably the man in that group, but we've already had so many upsets. And then, of course, Group F, there's Light, Soxry, JYJ, and Stork, another insanely strong group.
Yeah, 2 amazing groups. I will say that Queen's group is probably not the best, not the most strong group.
Which group was that?
Queen.
Oh, the Queen group. Yeah, Shine. You see Shine and Ruin, and you're thinking it's not going to be the greatest group, but Shine always does very well in ASL. Ruin, he did extremely well in the ASTL, the team league. And then Queen, obviously, he's masterclass. And I've already forgotten the last player, but I really do think Mong. And then Mong, last season, he had an amazing game versus Sulky. I still remember it. I thought he was going to win, but Sulky was beast mode with the macro.
Poor Mong, man. Can I tell you a little story about Mong?
Yeah.
This guy, I remember he was waiting for the group draw, and he got to play Shine. And he was so happy dancing on a stream, and he was like super happy about it. And then the day of the match came, and he got like 0-3 against Shine. And he never been the same since that.
And how long was this, recent or a couple years ago?
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago before going to military, I believe.
Yeah, I think it had to be a couple of years ago, because I do remember Shine is the guy that played versus Mong where he went for a fake drop. Mong reacted to it on circuit breakers, and then Shine busted his natural. It was absolutely amazing to see. And funny enough, last season I think Mong and Shine played, and I was mentioning it, and Shine, I think, didn't go for either a drop or a bust, but you could tell that Mong like had his rally point in his main. He was really ready for that incoming fake drop that he thought would appear at some point in the game, but never did. We got to look at Snow's stats. Just a moment ago, you saw a 60% win rate versus Terran. As you can see here, Bishop, this is actually, I guess, his only second time in the ASL. Doesn't have very many games played. 0-2 versus Protoss. I think you take that with a grain of salt. However, going up against Snow, this is going to be very, very difficult for him because Snow just, like I said, if he's not the best PvT in the world, he's up there.
By the way, I met Bishop in the ASL qualifiers. Very, very, very nice guy.
Oh, yeah? You met him at the qualifiers, like in person or online?
No, I met him in real. Like, he actually like fixed my monitor. I remember it.
Oh, that's cool, man. I also went to one ASL qualifier. I didn't meet Bishop, but Beast, the Zerg player, he was there, and he was recording the event. And actually, I was playing versus Ride Sky in one of my matches, and he recorded the game. He like titled it like Foreign Pro versus Ride Sky. I don't know about the Foreign Pro comment being accurate, but I do remember playing versus Ride Sky and getting crushed. And we are ready for game 1, guys. So it is about to start. Our first match is going to be Snow versus Bishop, and of course it is going to be on Heartbreak Ridge. Very punishing map, but we did see Terrans pull out victories here so far. Not versus any Protoss just yet, though. And we're ready. Let's get into game 1. And in the mid-right position are Tier 1 Protoss. It is Snow. And in the mid-left, or Terran, it is Bishop. Now, unlike other Protoss players like Best, who I kind of think as a pretty standard player, not really expecting to see proxy gates often, Snow does have the potential for that. But because Probe has not been sent out, does not seem like we're going to have any shenanigans so far this game.
Oh, call me crazy, but every PvT on this map is being in the same positions.
Is it?
Things. Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where Terran spawned. Maybe this...
Mine against Best, it was in this position. Haya against against Mini was in this position as well. Yeah.
And you got a good memory, man. And we do have some Bishop fans in the crowd right there. Saw Snow fans a minute ago, but that's definitely signs for Bishop. We've got something that you will never see unless you're watching my own personal stream, and that is a depot setting up for potentially a wall. And he is not going to complete the wall. Or, okay, he's coming back. I guess he's just checking for that proxy real quick. But that's going to be a wall, and when Snow scouts this, he may think, what are you up to? This looks like it could already be something very weird from Bishop, like an FD or something.
Interesting. FD. Yeah. To be fair, I always thought that if you can wall on PvT, you should like go for it.
I will not disagree with that. If you're someone that struggles in the lower ranks of ladder, just let me tell you this: for 20 years, Terran players were walling. It's only recently Terran players have started to marine micro. So if you're struggling, I definitely highly suggest to you that you wall off. But at some point, you do have to learn how to marine micro, and we are way past that point in ASL. We'll see what Bishop comes up with this wall, though. I am curious because literally no one walls anymore, so it must mean something.
Man, you can just roast my Terran level so hard.
Well, it's true, man. You watch any pro stream, they always are microing those Marines. It's so hard to do. Like, if a Zealot comes across the map and you don't have the top-notch micro, you're in trouble. Now, look at this probe. That SCV is already at 45, 40 health before he even gets outside of his base. That's going to die, by the way. That probe is not going to let that get away.
Really?
Oh, well, I guess he does let it get away.
Oh
Now,
man,
look at this.
like Susha there is so much space and wow, 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 wow. I can't believe this SCV is not scouting at all.
I
Like,
know.
just go for it. Like he can go like high ground and it's going to be fine.
Look at the probe. How does the probe get in front of the SCV when the SCV was in front of it just a second ago? And by the way, this is the Artosis special. It is a 2-fact. And like I said, as soon as you see the wall, you know something's up.
There is a Zero going for the scout.
Nope, that's not a scout. That is looking to get damage done. And he is going to come in here and get a couple hits on the Marines. And Snow should already know something's up. Why do you have a 4th Marine coming out? Why is there no bunker? Why was the 3rd Marine late? He knows that this has to be a 1-base play. Now, he doesn't know whether it's an FD like I suspected or if it's Starport or 2-fact, but we do know that it is a 2-fact.
I was thinking about that. Like, if it is 2 factories, I think he's missing gateways.
Well, he is very low on the gateway count right now. Now, that factory does get spotted, and he does see the add-on, that it's way too slow of a first add-on. So he knows now it's a 2-fact, and he's got options here. He can go 3-gate, or he can go Reaver. I think Reaver may be a little bit too slow, so I would like to see gateways get plopped down right now.
First tank out.
Yep, it is going to be the Joyo push, man. You know what that is? That's 3 tanks, as many Marines as you can get, and then rallied vultures with mines. And that robo that just started, this is a 440 robo. That's extremely late. So that means that he's going to have to rely on 1-gate goon versus a 2-fact. And we're still committing to this 1-base play. It's a starport, so it's going to be vulture rally and then a drop into the main at some point.
Yeah, because the map has some like there is some open area behind the natural that maybe he can exploit that with draw chips and multitasking. But my big problem here for Snow is that there is only 1 gateway. Like he's not producing enough units.
Yeah, I can't believe that he didn't cut probes or didn't cut something to get out faster gates. Like, they just started, and Bishop, I guess because he hasn't scouted, he's not sure what's coming at him. So you can see he lays defensive mines, because for all he knows, DTs could be coming, but we know that there's only 3 goons out, a single zealot, and the dropship play, which I expected to go in the main. You're right, this could also be setting up for like a tank drop behind the mineral line at the natural. Bishop is playing so cautious here, but he really needs to get there and try and get some damage done ASAP.
Yeah, he's taking his time. But to be honest, he's probably has like 1 chance, so he better just like take his time and do it right, and just like go crazy and try to lay mines and lose everything. Like sometimes Terran does.
Yeah, that is true. Often I am one of those people that I know that I only have 1 shot, and then I panic, and then I lose all my vultures or something like that. And this is his 1 move right here. I am not sure if he has siege mode, because I didn't see the add-on spinning for a long time. But he can range that Nexus from here if he gets into a good position. Now he needs to start sim-citying this off, whether it's with a bunker, even depots would be fine. And I think that is a turret being built. Oh, no turret. Oh, there's a drop.
It's funny. This is so similar to the mine game against Best, but it's 1 base.
Yeah, I feel like I just saw this game the other day. I love the movement of the goons, and what this is intended to do is not get on top of the tanks right now. It's just to cut off reinforcements, because that's the real threat, is once the tank count gets up to some absurd number like 6 or 7, then it's going to be really hard to deal with. But just 3, this is fine. And the dropship has done a good job to get across the map, but unfortunately there's an observer already out on the map, and he should see, wow, we're elevatoring into the main?
Wow, this is one of the most scary part of this game right now.
Well, he needs to siege up.
Yeah, but wow.
I don't think this is gonna work. I think even those Dragoons could hit
Well,
from the high
Vulture's
ground.
doing damage in the national, maybe.
Yeah, Vulture's in the main, but that was definitely not enough probe kills. They're gonna get into the... Nope, they're not. The probes are just gonna hold the line, just sack themselves. Snow realizes that all he has to do is not die here, which definitely is not gonna happen to just 3 Vultures. He's gonna be a fantastic spot because not only was it a 2-fact on one base, it was followed up with a with a starport. So Terran is mega all in, and definitely didn't get the damage that he was looking for.
I didn't see the elevator move coming. I think like, yeah, I was expecting more like double tours with the dropship maybe in the May or the National or something like that, but it doesn't make sense to expose your tanks like that.
Yeah, I thought that he was gonna hit the natural with the tanks and vultures, then drop in the main, and if there's like a big goon engagement where they're attacking, maybe the drop ship wipes out the mineral line in the main, and then maybe he runs vultures in the natural and also kills probes there, but definitely did not see that coming. That was good defense with the pylon walls that Snow set up, and now Snow can do literally whatever he wants, whether he wants to all in to this and just end the game. He could take a third base. He could start doing carriers even. Literally anything.
Yeah. And I mean, Terran Eco is so catastrophic right now.
Yeah, the SCV line, I think Bishop was cutting the entire time, so I wouldn't even be surprised if Bishop has less than 25 SCVs. I don't even know if he has 20. It looked very thin there, but he is transitioning into the command center, and that goon, Snow does not like him. He's going to kill it off.
It's probably saying, this is so unfair to this guy.
Yeah.
Let me help him.
Let me help him out a little bit. He needs all the help he can get after that elevator fail.
Oh my god. I mean, it's like you mentioned. I mean, that would be too crazy to go to 2 bases carrier from this position. Why reach yourself like that? Like, I will just like go tier and maybe go carriers. But I mean, he can actually do that because Terran is so behind that.
Yeah,
like it's risky when you do carrier and then you don't have units, but because your opponent can punish it. But in this case, his opponent doesn't have like too much.
Yeah, Terran only has 2 factories. Even if the carriers get scouted, you know, just because you build Stargates doesn't mean you have to actually build them. Protoss still has 4 gateways. He could just build non-stop gateway units. And we do have the first Reaver out on the map, and this is what Snow is probably the most known for, is his Reaver control. And he's decided that he has such a lead, he doesn't need to go get more SCV kills. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get hit by a timing attack. So he just leaves it out here. He's going to deny any move out. And meanwhile, third base going up for him at top right. Also a pylon wall all across the top line. So Vulture Harass also not going to work.
Yeah,
Oh,
Snow has such a great map vision right now.
you see that? It's Cloaked Wraith. And
Yeah, Snow has scouted it.
yeah, he's first off, he scouted it like you said, so he knows it's coming. But I don't even think I can hate Bishop here for this move. He doesn't have an academy, so he doesn't know what Snow is doing. And Snow is well known for carriers. He's also obviously well known for shuttle play. So if he can get Cloak, whether it catches the Reaver or if it catches carriers, that would be a slick move. I think this time around it's intended to catch the Reavers. And look at the cybernetics, it was spinning, so there is some type of air upgrade coming in. I actually suspect it's armor, because I don't see Stargates anywhere.
Well, I'm not sure about that. But I mean, if Snow scouted it, I don't think he's going to be aggressive with shadows anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so either, especially since there were so many wraiths out on the map. But there
By
was...
the way, five factories, 1 starport. I don't think we're going to see a tier base from Terran.
Nope, I don't think so either. If it is a third base, probably a floated command center from his main to the third base, because he's going to have so few resources. He doesn't want to spend 400 on a command center. The wraiths do show themselves to the probe, so if Snow somehow didn't notice the cloaked race. Well, now he's going to know that they are out on the map. And this 5-fact that Bishop is going for, he's going to have 1 timing, if that, to go. He's got a high tank count, but the Reaver control is going to be really hard to get past.
I don't know how he's doing it, but Bishop is making Goliaths and tanks and Greys. That's a lot of gas.
That is very expensive, and he cannot afford really to lose any of them. Just now he's going to start pumping out some vultures. I think his tank count is actually pretty damn good, but he needs more support for them. You can't just win with pure tanks. You got to have something to buffer the damage. And that Reaver is just waiting in the darkness for Bishop to step out so he can pounce on it. And we've got a 4th base at bottom right. Massive probe transfer too, so that's going to be instantly saturated.
Yeah. Bishop going to unsiege, going to move out. I don't know if I can punish Snow and kill the Shuttle. That would be interesting to do with the Greys.
Killing Snow Shuttle? Does that happen? That just never happens, man. You saw he took 1 shot there and he killed a tank already.
Yeah, I forgot that wasn't a Snow Shuttle. That's gonna be difficult to kill.
Yeah, Snow Shuttle hits different, man. I can tell you from experience. When I initially joined ByClan, there was a Protoss. I'm not sure if it was Snow, but I suspect it was him. And every time I played this guy, you knew he was going Reaver. There was 3 things that were going to happen. He's going to kill all your SCVs, he's going to kill all your depots, or he's going to kill everything that you actually have, all your tanks. Like, there was no game where I think I actually ever killed the Shuttle. So here we go. We're going to come in with a bust. This is actually a move that Bishop is looking for because Snow didn't use his whole army there, so that was a good trade for him.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. He loses that many tours.
And still, Snow just sitting on the high ground. He's saying no.
Oh, wait. The high temperatures are exposed.
They are exposed for now.
Don't tell me you.
Yeah, damn you. Damn you, Protoss, loading up those Templars. We wanted to get some kills.
It's so crazy. Could be so different.
What is going on? That's a 2nd starport. He's researched cloak. He's already gotten drops. He's got race in his hotkey, so you know he has, like, he's aware that he has a starport. So this, I think, is intending to catch a carrier switch, but there's no carrier switch this game. It's just pure gateways. The scan that went off in the main of Snow did see the cybernetic spinning, so it may be throwing Bishop off.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what is it exactly. It's either Bishop figure out a crazy way to finish this game, or he's like panicking so hard because Snow is carrier master.
Either one is likely. He could definitely be panicking here. He's got 2 starports now, no science facility, so that means we're stuck at +1 weapon. And look how long it took for him to even get to this ramp. He's still not on top of it. Now that's a great pick off. He gets the Shuttle, only 2 Templars unload, and none of the storms get off.
You know what, Nyoken? There are not enough seals to finish this army.
Yeah, there aren't. Actually, Bishop may be able to get his 3rd base. If he had his 3rd base faster, with supplies like this, 200 to 150, yes, Protoss is still way ahead in terms of supply. This would be an okay situation, but here we go. A small engagement. Zealot's going to run in here. Again, not the trades he was looking for. He gets 3 tanks, but loses so many Zealots for that.
Wow. You know what? Maybe we should know something we don't. Because, like, I don't think he's going to be aggressive. I think he's just going to try to spend. Just trying to establish himself.
Yeah, I think the eco's too big for Protoss to actually try and engage. And there we go. Storms on the high ground. Blanket so many of the tanks, but it's only 2. And that will not finish the job on those tanks. They are heavily damaged, though, so he needs to run away, retreat to this high ground. Oh, now that's a great storm, and he will get a couple tanks there. 1 more storm would be amazing. He does land it, but on vultures.
And Snow is such a magic player that was the only way I didn't see that army like disappearing. but he actually stormed the army, and now it's like the huge siege tank army is almost gone.
Yeah, and it looks like Bishop actually forgot about his starport because of where he built that science facility. So, not the most expensive loss for him, but it could have been one additional tank. We do have Snow moving around to the bottom side. Again, his army is huge. He's maxed this time. But this is a lot of Terran on the high ground with a lot of mine support too. We see buildings coming up for the SimCity, but Snow looping around to the bottom side also. He wants to engage this. Good storm right there. Another good storm on top of a lot of the SCVs and the tanks and the Wraiths. All the expensive units.
Yeah, but I had the feeling that he's missing like zeros to really clean this army.
Yeah, his army supply is maxed, right? But the army looked tiny. There's a big group of goons actually at bottom left attacking the command center, and it died. I don't know if you saw that on the mini-map, but the third base that Bishop built, it's already dead.
Yeah, there is a small group of dragoons sitting in the tier base. Wow, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, man.
GG.
Losing that command center, he just instantly taps out. And Snow had a massive lead, so can't fault Bishop there. But well done from Snow to hold that push. And I think losing that SCV in the beginning really stagnated the push from Bishop. Remember that one probe kept the SCV back, and because he had no idea what was going on, he had to be very cautious because DTs could have been out on the map, and the one timing window he was going for just ended up fading away.
Yeah, but this is like this is the experience of playing on these stages. This is where it talks like, listen, dude, you're already playing like very risky build like these two factories. Like, you're really going to chill and just like place mines to DTs? Like, just go for it. Do your build. It is what it is.
Yeah, sometimes you just run into the invisible man and you die, and sometimes you get lucky they didn't build it, and it could have gotten you a victory. He was just too cautious with it. The elevator was an interesting idea. I had never thought about it. I think it was just too slow. The observer saw it from a mile away, and of course, as soon as he sees you elevatoring into the main, he's just going to instantly pounce on it, and that's exactly what Snow did. So well done, and he makes it into the winners match. We're going to be going into Jaedong versus Shuttle pretty soon, but I think we got a break first. Yep, Shuttle versus Jaedong is going to be up next. We'll be going into the break, and then we'll be coming back with that series in just a moment, so don't go anywhere.
See you soon.
And we are back, guys. We're gonna go in. Oh, we're gonna be going into our Ask ASL moment right now. Of course, if you've got a question to ask the players, you can go to the Freaka website, post your question, and maybe it will get asked to the players. We're about to go into our Jaedong versus Shuttle match. Shuttle, definitely underrated. This guy's super strong, very top-notch. But he's going up against the Tyrant, a legendary player, Jaedong. He's one of the top 4 with the Take Bang Lee Sang crew, Flash, Stork, Jaedong, and Bisu. This guy is the man, and as far as Mount Rushmores of Zerg, he's at the very top.
Yeah, man, but by the way, I'm pretty sure Jaedong has Shuttle numbers. Not offense to the guy, but I'm pretty sure, like, the scores talks to Jaedong.
Really? I mean, Jaedong's got definitely very solid Protoss, but I think Shuttle has got the chops to do it. He's really improved in the past few seasons, actually has done very well. I think he could take him down. We'll see what his stats are versus Zerg. Look at that, 60% win rate versus Zerg, about 50% versus the rest of the board. But like you said, Jaedong is very strong ZVP. You know, I think he was one of the innovators of 5-hatch a very, very long time ago.
I don't know if you remember KSL, but like Jaedong actually like he destroyed Shuttle in that tournament.
Well, you seem to really remember it. I don't remember, actually. I do remember Light winning KSL, but that's pretty much my extent of memories of the KSL.
Yeah. You know, Nyoken, I remember this when Jaedong come back to the scene, he was like competing in StarCraft 2. He was playing for Evil Genius or something. And then he come back to the scene to Brewer, and he played his first ASL. I remember I never seen such a weak Jaedong in my life. Like his skill and everything, it was so low. And then he had to face Flash. I don't remember if it was in a semi-final or something like that, but it was like so clear for everyone that Flash was the superior player. Like there was no chance he would get a 3-0, and somehow Jaedong make it like super close. And I still remember to this day that the first game was on Eye of the Storm, and he pulled a such beautiful, crazy drop build that Flash didn't expect, no one expected, and he took the first game with a bang. And like from that moment, everyone was already in Jaedong train, you know, like
yeah. Before
that, everyone was like, nah, there is no chance, man. And then after that beautiful game, everyone was like, let's go Jaedong, let's go the chips. You know, Tiliku was on going crazy.
Yeah, I think everybody loves Jaedong. In fact, Jaedong is my favorite player other than Fantasy, but as far as other races, by far, no one tops Jaedong for me. I'm a huge fan of him. And it's not a surprise that even if he was lacking in the skill at the time versus Flash, that he could take down a game, because this guy's a mastermind. He's a workaholic. He definitely, if he can't overcome the skill deficit, he'll find a way to still find a victory. And it seems like maybe the strategic play is what gave him the edge. But as far as
it wasn't only a game. It was like he lost 2 and 3, and he actually won Hydra against Bio in a Hydra rush, because I mean, I'm pretty sure you see the highlight here. It was on Benzin.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, like that. I'm telling you, I've never seen something so magic in all my years of StarCraft. Maybe Jaedong against Stork first OSL. Maybe that was more magic.
Oh, now look at that. We've got a throwback right there. Lukáš Oz pro game team from 2006. The old school fans coming out. And that is very nice to see a lot of supporters of Jaedong, and especially the old school fans. That's some more Jaedong fans right there. Not sure what that drawing is for. Maybe for a Mutalist. I think that was a Muta.
By the way, to StarCraft to be so old, that audience is actually like very young. It's Like if people could expect like maybe 40 or years old or 50 years old, like spectating the game, but that seems like people in their 20s.
Yeah, well, with the university thing that they were doing on Afrika, there's definitely been an influx of fans, a lot of new supporters, and it's great to see invigoration into the game. And, you know, not just male fans, there's also a lot of female fans that you see in the crowd. There was a lot of coaching with female players, so it's now becoming very more intertwined between the genders. And we do have our players ready. So we're going to have Shuttle versus Jaedong on our first map, which is Heartbreak Ridge.
Please pray for Shuttle because he's playing against Jaedong Heartbreak Ridge.
Okay, in the mid left, oh, actually in the mid right, it is Mr. Shuttle, and in the left, he really needs no introduction. Look how focused he is already. It is Jaedong.
You already won the game.
just from his intensity. I mean, that's the face that I'm talking about, man. You can tell that this guy, he's out for blood. He's not going to let you get away with anything. He's going to be on top of his game. He's going to bring it to you anytime there's an opening. He's going to exploit it. And I would love to see what he's got planned for this map with such an open main for drops. We also, of course, have that temple at the top, which nobody has actually exploited yet. I would love to see him try and just be super aggressive in the early stages.
Oh my god, is that pylon blocking the Nexus? No way, right? No,
There's no way.
It's fine.
You know that this guy practiced this position a billion times. It would be a complete shocker if the pylon actually blocks it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever seen that pylon before.
Well,
no, it's fine. I think it's fine.
Yeah, this is going to be a very fast scout, and what he's doing here is he wants to see if it's hatch first, because if it's hatch first, we can go Nexus first. And he's going to see that it's actually a 12 pool, so he can still go Nexus first versus this. So this was a fantastic move from Shuttle, getting good intel, and now he's going to have an extremely optimized build versus what Jaedong's doing. Now, you're the Zerg expert. Go ahead.
No, Jaedong taking the tier before the natural.
Yeah, so I think he expected to get blocked, so he just wanted to take the third base, make sure he can get down the hatchery ASAP. Now, if you were Zerg in this position, okay, well, I guess it's not Nexus first. Somehow it's a Forge first. I was gonna say, what do you think of Jaedong's spot here? Is he okay? Like, is this fine for him to go pool hatch versus a Forge Nexus?
No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Just, game just started. There is no gateway first or Proxy or two gateways or a Proxy gateway or anything crazy. So he's totally fine. The question is, you know, like when it comes to these PvP games, is the guy going to play something tricky like late gas and Hydra? It's going to be a 973 or you know. Just like lair.
Yeah, we've got the gas coming down at 245 gas, so not the fastest gas, but not the latest gas either. We've already seen a few games where players were going 4 or 5 hatches before getting gas at all. And we do have pylon at the top by that temple to spot for any drone potentially mining that back mineral patch. We know that's not the case.
Yeah. Shuttle being careful to not die to something silly like, you know, like 20 Zerglings going to your main. You don't even know where is all these units coming from.
Well, that probe has done a really good job to just be annoying in the main and get full intel. The lair, yep, it got morphed at the third base. I love it. He's going to hide where it's actually building, maybe make Shuttle a bit nervous that speed could be coming, but don't think he's going to fall for that. Cybernetics just now started, so Stargate and Spire timing are going to be, I think, slightly in favor of Shuttle, so he may be able to catch 1 or 2 overlords.
Still going out, probably going to the main.
Yep, now that probe, if he can meet up with that zealot, that would be a deadly combo. Of course, one probe shot comboed with 2 hits from a zealot will kill a Ling, but the probe dies, and you can see Shuttle instantly reroutes that zealot to the bottom side.
Yeah. Normal game so far from everyone, and Shuttle just like probably going for his Stargate. Yeah, so far very standard game.
Yep.
Coming from Jaedong, you could expect maybe some link aggression early on or trying to do a run by, but no, so far very standard.
Yep, standard, and the zealot getting into the sweet spot. Gonna trade decently well there. Still gonna lose his life though, 2 Lings for 1 zealot. That's a favorable trade for Jaedong. Stargate is about halfway done. Meanwhile, Spire just now started, and we've got a couple more zealots moving out, trying to put some more pressure down.
Jaedong is ready for this. He has the numbers. To be honest, feeling like a really solid game by Jaedong. Not getting any zero damage, no affecting his eco at all. Look at this, he's even going to take 2 zeros with 6 servings.
Oh my gosh, amazing trade there. He doesn't lose a single Ling, and he's just going to take his win and back off. All those Lings were heavily damaged, so he doesn't want to, lose multiple of them, just getting one-shotted on like 3 or 4 of them. So he backs off. We've got a Citadel coming down 530, so it's not the fastest Citadel I've ever seen, but still a normal game so far.
Oh, gas first. Looks like we're going to see Mutas in this game.
Really? The gas is that fast that you think this is already Muta play?
Yeah, he may gas without Hydra then or anything.
Okay, well, Shuttle, he's really knowledgeable, obviously, of this matchup. He sees the
maybe
gas
it could be a
time.
mind game. He made more drones and then just like take to them, but I would be surprised, to be honest.
Well, he sees the Spire is complete, so he's going to back off. That Cybernetics is going to be for +1 weapon. I'm sure Zerg is getting +1 armor also. I think I saw a cannon going up in the main, so he may already suspect that mutas are on the menu.
Yeah. Scourge. Probably going to make 1 more hatchery. And then go full mutas because he's making 3 starters now.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jaedong's supply. He's got 50 supply. He's got like 3 supply in Lings. And then, what, 2 more supply in Scourge? So his drone count must be absurdly high now, maybe like 35 to 40. There's the first few mutas that you were talking about. We've got a Sunken coming up at the 3rd base. SimCity's great there, so these Zealots really shouldn't do much damage. And I guess he wasn't aware that this was... Okay, now he's backing off. I was like, man, he's going to commit and just lose those Zealots to these mutas.
Sometimes, mutas takes a long time to kill Zealots. Sometimes Protoss can commit and just like send Zealots everywhere. Zealots to your main, Zealots to your national, Zealots to your tier. And it takes such a long time to deal with them that somehow they do damage.
That is true. They're very tanky. They just don't want to die. And we found an opening in the middle line. There's 2 probes going down. It was an instant reaction from Shuttle to only lose 2 Zealots. But
wow.
Instant counterattack also.
Yeah, he actually damaged those mutas with the Corsairs. Now need to wait to chill a bit and wait to engage again.
Yeah, look at this SimCity. There's 1 Sunken there and just a couple Lings, and that was more than enough to hold 5 Zealots. The mutas are going to find these Zealots, and now he may be able to actually kill them. The Scourge don't want to commit into this because, or the Corsairs don't want to commit into this because of how many Scourge there are.
Actually, if Shuttle was expecting something else, because at the moment he seems like a bit loose about what to do, or how to approach Jaedong mutas.
Well, he does have a lot of Corsairs. It's 5, almost 7 now, so that will definitely be able to deal with the air. But it's just been Drone Man non-stop. Like, there's so much econ for Jaedong. This supply, 80 to 80, that's never good for Protoss. This is an amazing situation for Zerg. I feel like Zerg is just going to put on the juice in a second. We're going to see a huge influx of Hydras any minute now.
Yeah. But in my opinion, the most important is what he does with the mutas, because if he loses the mutas for free, these Hydras are not going to be well gray until like later on. So it's very important he doesn't lose all these Scourge and Mutas for free.
Oh, I thought he actually might jump on those cannons, but I guess the Muta count is not high enough for him to feel confident in that move. He's got 1 billion Scourge here, so anytime he sees the Corsairs, you know he's going to try and take some of them out. He finds another Zealot, but does take a decent chunk of damage onto his 5 Mutas, and there is the start of the Hydra production. 4th base going down also for Jaedong.
By the way, Nyoken, I want to correct myself because I just saw that he has only 5 Mutas. So it's like, I don't think he has commit so bad to Mutas, but just to a Scourge. Like, the amount of gas invested in the Scourge is quite high. But so far, so good. There is no being like this proto situation where Corsairs get out of control and kill 50 Overlords.
Yeah, and of course Shuttle doesn't know how many mutas were actually committed there. The fact that it took so long to kill that DT, he probably has an idea that it's around 5. But he's got 8 Corsairs, so anytime the Scourge count can get whittled down, he is going to capitalize and look for some Overlord kills. And here we go. Look how fast that single Scourge died to those Sairs. That's how powerful 8 Corsairs are. But so far, both sides are just content with macroing. However, I gotta say, I think Shuttle needs to consider taking a 3rd base soon because Zerg's about to be on 4 bases, but look at those Scourge get melted.
Yeah, that was something I was afraid of. Because if you don't have the numbers to deal with these Corsairs, then you can snipe High Templars.
Yeah, what's the number to snipe a Templar? Is it 9 mutas?
It depends. Now with the armor, it takes a full 11.
11, damn. So he's going to have to build a few more mutas if he wants to commit to that. And I don't think he will because of how many Sairs are out on the map. He just runs in and snipes the Templar. That was great.
Yeah.
We've got a big engagement right there.
I'm not sure why Shuttle is not using all his army.
Yeah, I think he was not expecting the Zerg to commit like that, and he picks off a few Zealots for free, really, and also one of the Templars, which had been banking energy. And my personal opinion is Shuttle's in big trouble. Supplies are even. Zerg has 4 bases. There's no movement at all for a 3rd base. Look at the Hydras just rack up kills on the Zealots. I guess now there's a little bit too much, and he is going to have to back off. But 140 to 140 with massive amounts of lurkers. Those Overlords also have speed. I wonder if he actually has drops upgraded. This is Heartbreak Ridge, which is common for drops.
Well, Jaedong's going to establish positions. I feel like he's like... It's crazy because Jaedong is not the kind of conservative player, but he's just going to set himself up. Probably going to take one more gas expansion and go from there.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more Zerg players play like this, kind of like Zerg versus Terran-esque, where you're camping, just relying on mutas to do some damage and harassment, and then just have massive eco, and all of the Corsairs are gonna die to that muta Scourge engagement.
This is so bad for Shuttle now, because usually when Zerg sees this happening, they make like the necessary mutas to snipe High Templars.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's going to build a round of mutas now. He's going to have to reposition his lurkers to defend this. But look just how much stuff Zerg has. Zerg has supply lead, man. There's no way Shuttle can plow through this. This is like 12 lurkers.
Yeah, need like insane storms to really like have a chance here.
Well, I guess Shuttle thinks he has more supply relative to Jaedong than he actually does. Those are really good storms, hitting a lot of the Hydras. There's still wow, it's a counterattack at the same time. He wants to deny this 3rd base, so action everywhere. And there's just not enough. He's not willing to commit into these lurker Hydras.
No, it's really difficult to deal with these Hydras in the reaches.
Oh, is he gonna get? I don't think he's gonna get that. He's gonna snipe that Templar though. There are a lot of lurkers on the high ground on the right side, which are not helping. So that Nexus ends up surviving. But remember, Zerg still has a decent amount of mutas left over. He could just run in there and potentially pop it.
Yeah, but there are 2 situations here. Like, is that Shuttle army is looking very strong, and he can also like double spend as well.
Yeah, that fight went much better than I was expecting for Shuttle, so he's evened up the supply. There are those mutas.
Wait, mutas are going to finish that Nexus.
Yeah, he wants it. He's going to try and knock down this Nexus. He should run over the probe, so if he gets stormed, he at least storms his own probes. And he does get the Nexus. Well done. And he's going to get the Templar.
Oh, wow, this is going to slow down Shuttle so much.
Yeah, Shuttle really needed that base. He still has a huge army, so he doesn't necessarily need to build units right now, but definitely didn't want to be forced to build an additional Nexus. We do have lurkers setting up on the right side to intercept this army, and Shuttle's drop loading up, and this could be it. We could have base trade scenario where Shuttle just goes for it and sacks his main.
Yeah, what an unfortunate timing to drop, because the big army is coming.
Yeah, but there's so many lurkers here. That's a lot of storm, but the goon saw the overlords go towards the main, so he knows what's going on, and he's just gonna commit. He's gonna go for it, and we may lose everything in our main. There's still so much econ for Zerg, but look at the supply of Shuttle. He's up 30 supply with a lot of the army in his main. He may be able to just barrel through everything.
Well, he's about to lose that Nexus in the main for sure.
Yeah, he's going to probably lose everything in his main. What it comes down to is, does he have enough to actually push to victory here? If there's more observers here, I'm going to say he might have enough. But no, actually, what was it, 170, 140 a minute ago? Now it's 120 to 120. Zerg racking up so many kills on the Templars. Just insane. This push from Shuttle is going to be denied.
Our army is gone. It's totally gone. The gateways are not even working. The pylons are not there. Like, pylons disappear. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, they got blasted from all those lurker shots, and that means that Shuttle's going to have to turn back for now. Jaedong started to re-macro up. He was floating a little bit there. Maybe Shuttle can find an opening at the 4th base, and he does. May be able to knock this down, because this is a tiny choke. This is going to be hard for Zerg to defend. Oh, Muta's in the back, going to pick off a Templar too.
And there are no Sunkens.
Yeah,
there are no Sunkens in this for expansion.
That's just a dead base. It looks like Jaedong transferred his drones to bottom right, but I'm not sure if he's actually mining there. In fact, I don't think he is. Oh no, those are overlords. Okay, he's gonna sunken that up, and
I don't think Shutter knows about that expansion.
Yeah, he doesn't know. So if he did, he may have committed there, but he may have gotten locked in if he committed there. Okay, now he's gonna scout it.
No way. That Zero with 21 HP is actually going to scout that.
Yeah, he's gonna find it, but what can he do? The Sunkens are morphing right now. Those Mutas have done so much damage. There's only been 5 built all game long, and they've gotten so many Templar kills.
Can you believe they even kill a Nexus?
Oh, I was wondering if that was a lurker drop, and it is. 12 kills. Now we're on legitimately 1-base mining for Protoss.
Oh. But you know what? I'm not really like 1-base Protoss is actually like a lot of minerals.
That is true, but you know what they don't have a lot of right now? Oh my gosh, he finds the sweet spot. If this, oh, he doesn't see it. How many kills? He got 8 kills right there. I like how the lurker is still selected while this engagement is happening. 24. Oh my god, he just ravaged the mineral line.
That has to be it. I see like Shuttle just lose all his eco. There is a huge counterattack coming to his tier base as well, and they're probably going to seal it.
Yep, he is going to knock down bottom right, but it doesn't matter. Jaedong's going to kill the only mining base at top right. Jaedong even saved a few of the drones there by loading them up into the Overlord, so they're safe. They can just be re-unloaded. In fact, Shuttle didn't kill the hatchery. He's stuck in a hard place. He doesn't know what to do. He's just going to counter.
Is there any chance for him to actually no, there is no.
Oh, there's just so many hiders and so many lurkers. There's not much storm available. That's an amazing storm, but he needs like 8 more of those. The goon count is still strong, the zealot count is still strong, but it's just so impossible to attack into lurker hydra.
Yeah, the sky is not rainy enough, and we are about to see the end of Arjun right now. Yep. Because I feel like there is no more steam for Shuttle.
That is true. There's the GG, and you were right. Jaedong, he's got Shuttle's number. and he is going to make it into our winners match.
I mean, solid strategy, nothing too crazy. Great counterattacks, great drop, great decision making about when to fight and when to avoid the fight. Overall, I will say Jaedong played this game fantastic.
Yeah, it was really killer macro. He was even in supply all game long, at moments even up supply. I think if Shuttle could have gotten a third base faster, maybe he could have pushed through or gotten to a fourth base at some point. But regardless,
Man,
it was yeah.
Man, I just saw Shuttle face, and I'm pretty sure he's thinking like, who is this pay actor that plays probably with us?
Yeah, he can't imagine. He's just reconciling what happened in that game. Like, how did he get absolutely destroyed like that? And that guy right there, he was very intense even after the game ended. He's back, man, and he's in pure form. He really wants to take down ASL, or at least make it out of this group into the round of 16.
Yeah, we are going to see an amazing Snow against Jaedong next. Probably. It's going to be an insane game, man.
Yeah, well, you knew that Jaedong had Shuttle's number. What about versus Snow? Is Jaedong strong versus Snow?
Well, you know what? I feel like it's going to be a really hard game for him, but I'm Team Jaedong, man. No, not really like. I mean, no doubting for a second. We're Team Jaedong here.
Yeah, I'm also on the Jaedong hype train, but gotta say Snow is also my favorite Protoss player. So I'm not sure exactly who to root for. I would love to see either one make it in. Maybe slightly leaning more towards Jaedong because the past few seasons he definitely didn't get the results that he was looking for.
Bro, there are so many great games of Jaedong against Snow. Like so many great games that you can type on YouTube like Jaedong against Snow, and it's just like insane. Like you can like watch so many great games. But I'm going to tell you something. I feel like Snow is like very aware of Jaedong Hydra Bass style. I think he got his numbers when it comes to that.
Okay, so just don't Hydra Bust if you're Jaedong, because that'll be a free win for Snow. But like last game, we didn't even see Hydra Bust. We just saw nonstop drones, mutas controlling the air, and then just an explosion of Hydras after Zerg's on like 50 or 60 drones. This is a type of play that I'm seeing more and more often. I saw it in the Soma Best game that you were talking about, that crazy wild game where we're having long distance mining in the middle of the map. Soma also played that style, so maybe this is just a new meta that I'm unaware of.
I don't see the feature, but I imagine that the Snow is watching these games, so it's going to be hard for Jaedong to repeat the same style, in my opinion. Like you probably Snow is like, oh, okay, so you are going to play so gritty early game. It can like go instead of 6 zeros, maybe 11, and go deal with that with 5 meters.
Okay, so you're expecting maybe like a faster second gate, and then we can just keep the mutas back while the zealots, they split up, wreck damage at the natural and the third base.
Oh, that's a good question, Nyoken. The next map is Dark Origin, right?
Yeah, it should be Dark Origin probably.
So we're probably going to see a different build order, like probably one gate first.
Yeah, that's true. I actually don't see Forge openers almost ever these days. Almost everybody goes Gateway opener. I think it's because they feel like they got to keep Zerg in check, because if they don't, their econ just explodes, and it's just so hard to deal with a Zerg, with like 8 hatches. They can build 20 units at a time. It's just crazy.
Man, we could also like Snow love to gamble a bit, so maybe we can even see like Gateway like Nexus first, and Jaedong doing a 9 pull. So who knows?
I would love it, but we're going into a break, and then we'll be back. are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to be going into our winners match, which is Jaedong versus Snow, and it is going to be Dark Origin again.
Yeah, you know, funny enough, the games that is coming is so important. But I was thinking about I was thinking about Bishop, and do you think like because there are like different class of players. Like for example, Celot is a third player that is very aggressive, and he's going to be like always playing like so aggressive that if you see like going for ASL and qualifying, you are probably expecting that him to be super aggressive anyway. But this player Bishop, very talented player in my opinion. I asked myself if instead of like trying to do two factories, it's not better for him to actually like just show his best game, and maybe the long term is going to be like better for him.
Yeah, maybe. Also, if he's playing and he has the image that he's going to be aggressive, right? The other pros think he's going to all in. You know, it may just be better for his results in general if he plays just a normal build. Maybe Snow overreacts or Jaedong overreacts, for example, and builds too many gateways versus the timing that's never coming. So that could be something to consider in the future games of Bishop. But we are ready for our winners match. It is Jaedong versus Snow on Dark Origin. So in the top left are red Protoss. It is Snow. And then in the bottom right, taking a win off Shuttle just a moment ago, it is Jaedong.
Make no mistake, guys. Game of the night. This is the game of the night. This is the best two players, and well, it's a new map. There are many things coming to this matchup. Like you know, so far I've seen certain players like really doing well on this map against Protoss. No surprise, of course, for some people.
And why do you think that is, that Zerg's doing so well? Is it the map layout?
Actually, that's a good question, because in my opinion, like if I was playing this map, I will not be confident at all. So that is one of the reasons I'm mentioning is that Zergs are doing like really well on this map.
Well,
I think it's like the way you contain the Protoss.
Well, I was just thinking about, you know there's that stasis building behind the natural. If Zerg goes for like a 973 and just kills that temple or kills that building, can't they just run into the main through that other ramp? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
All right, well...
is to get one getaway against Overpool. But it's not a super quick getaway. It's more, we're probably going to see like defensive getaway pretty much.
Okay, so
especially against Overpool.
Zealot's just going to hang around, make sure Lings don't sneak by. We do have drone and probe interception. Oh, that was the first shot going to Snow, so that drone cannot fight anymore, and he's going to have to run for his life. Can try and get this hatch down. I don't think he's going to get it.
This suspension as well?
Yep. Well, that drone's going to die, man. He needs to run.
You don't really want to start the game with losing a drone, so let's hope it's not the case. Jaedong taking his natural now.
Yep, natural going down, so that was a really good denial from Snow. He's now going to come in, and he's got to be careful because, oh, wow, he knew the timing, so he backs off instantly. Not going to lose that probe. And it is just 4 Lings for now, but the first Zealot moving across the map. No, actually just out in the darkness, hanging around the bridges.
Yeah, outside the Overlord vision, but it's probably, he needs to come back. Like, you're not letting Jaedong get 4 servants in your main.
Oh yeah, you can't let that happen. He will never let them die. if that's the case. So I like how Shuttle, or not Shuttle, Snow has turned his Zealot back.
I remember this Protoss player saying that when Jaedong did a run by to him, those earnings looked like Ultralis.
I've never heard that before, but I'm sure it's true, man. You're just never going to kill them. They're unkillable. They also regen, obviously. We do have Probe getting into the main. We'll spot the gas timing, and just being a nuisance like Probes always are, getting a few pot shots in.
Man, Snow is so annoying with that worker. Look at the minute he's doing that. Like, if you tell me he's doing that on early on, but it's 340, bro.
Yeah, he's still getting damage done, and Jaedong did spend 100 gas for that lair at his natural.
By the way, 3 silos going to Jaedong's tier, and I feel that's scary because there is a place, I don't know, 2 silos, sorry. There is this small gap that silos can get in, and it's 1 by 1. Yeah, it's so annoying.
Yep, he's gonna get into the spot right there. Oh wow, he actually can get 2 shots off, or both Zealots can attack, this position. So this is gonna be really tough for Jaedong to deal with. We do have Probe coming in for another scout, so he wants to get into the main to see, hey, did this guy actually go like Hydra or something? But he is gonna see the lair, and he's gonna see Spire coming down pretty soon.
By the way, very good game by Snow so far. No missing information, scouting and everything. He's not even making cannons to defend himself. So imagine how good of a game he's having right now.
Yeah, he's really optimized his build as well as possible. He still has no cannons. Like you said, he even SimCity'd off with the cybernetics, so he can safely upgrade in his main that'll never get picked off. And there's the Spire. It's basically the same timing as the Stargate.
Yeah, man. This has to be so tilting. I remember when I play ladder and I see these Protoss players like not making cannons, I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You can do that? I didn't know you could do that.
I would be pretty tilted if I saw that. It's like, dude, you're just getting away with absolute murder. And Jaedong's going to try and engage this. This does not seem like it's going to be a good trade. Look at how effective those Lings are. But did you see that Ling in the back? He's got additional range. He was hitting over top of his brother, and actually those Zealots died quite quickly, much faster than I was expecting them to.
Yeah, but even so, that was a really good trade for Snow. That was really good for him.
Yeah, he forced out a ton of Lings, and that is stagnating Zerg's build a little bit. You can see the 4th and 5th hatch just now starting. Jaedong's supply way lower in comparison to last game relative to Protoss' supply. First Corsair is out. Spire's basically done, so Corsair needs to
No way he's fighting that Overlord, right? No way he's actually...
Whoa.
No way he's actually... Wow.
I guess he will kill it. It's dying faster than I thought it was going to die.
Yeah, no, it's a really solid good game for Snow, but the show must go on, and Jaedong... I don't know exactly what the plan is gonna be. It's looking to be a similar build. Like, can you kill that Corsair?
Oh, I think.
Wow, what was that?
He thought it was already dead, so he just gave up on it, but it wasn't. So, oh my gosh, he's getting a second one. He almost did. That would have been terrible for Snow. And Jaedong behind this, I still haven't seen a Hydrogen get placed. I don't see that building anywhere. So it does look like just like last game. It's gonna be Mass Scourge, Mass Muta for now. And just a lot of drones behind it.
Indeed, it's looking very similar to the last build, even with different openings. It's so scary. Snow lose the Corsair, almost lose a second one because like Jaedong is making mutas. He needs Corsairs to defend mutas.
Yes, he does. At least 5 seems to be the number that most players go for. Sometimes 7. We saw last
By the
game.
way, Snow not messing around, making extra cannons. I know what I'm playing against.
Yeah, he's definitely aware that this could be a muta bust. But however,
that was such an smart scouting by Jaedong. He just saw that there are no seals in the natural.
Yes.
He retreat to his base.
Yeah, so he's looking for him. He knows they're out on the map. Snow has done a good job to hide them at top right. One thing I do want to point out is that Corsair, or that Stargate, was not blinking, so the Corsair count is like 1 or 2 right now, and that's it. We've got a Zealot running into the third base, but this shouldn't get much damage done. There's a Sunken there, but he finds an opening where the Sunken can't hit.
Interesting, Nyoken, you mentioned that about the Stargate. Maybe actually Snow learned the lesson, and he knows that Jaedong is not going to make more than 5 mutas.
That's true. Oh, I love how the Scourge scouts, and he instantly starts building out of the Stargate. So it may trigger to Jaedong that, hey, this guy built a lot of Corsairs, but we know that that's not the case. It is just going to be a ton of gateways. He may even morph like an Archon or something to help with
yeah,
the
like 2 Archons or something like that.
Yeah, there's the mask.
But I mean, it's not. The way I see it is, it's kind of hard to attack these Sin cities.
Well, Jaedong adjusting, he popped out a few more Mutalisks there. I guess he did realize that, hey, this guy is skimping out on Corsairs. But now Snow has started to ramp up the production, and this may be an attempted bust in the main. But there's 3 cannons there, so I don't know how effective this will be.
Jaedong is so good. He actually read the Snow and made more mutas and just go for it.
Yeah, and there's not that many Scourge here. He can just sit on top of the mineral line, like I said, and if there's a storm, he's going to storm his own probes! Yes, he got a lot of mutas there, but he just lost a lot of probes, too. I don't even know where that Templar was.
I don't even know how there is 1 worker left in the mineral line. I saw all of them with dead.
Oh, the Templar was up there behind the assimilator? That is a cute positioning, and that cannon is getting a lot of kills.
Oh my god, that was a nice trick. That was a really nice trick. I mean, how many workers do you think he killed?
I thought it was going to be like his entire probe line, but it didn't seem to be, and he's already transferred a few back. I would say maybe like 6 or something maybe he killed of his own units, but he got rid of almost all of the Mutalisks.
Yeah, if that is the case, that was a really nice trade, man.
Damn.
Because then now there are like 4 High Templars full of energy.
He's building more mutas. He killed all the Corsairs. He doesn't care if there's some damaged mutas. He just wants to get rid of these Templars. He's got massive econ, just like last game. If he can get rid of the Templars, he can go into just Hydras and just run him over.
Oh, but the Snow with a big army is retreating, I guess.
It's a decent storm, but he doesn't have many left. There's only 2 more Templars, so 2 more storms, and that's it. You can see he's.
No, he has like 4 High Templars in the national.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe more storm than I thought. But we do have Snow trying to get out onto the map. He's going to deny mid-right. The units are just way too far out of position.
Oh, please don't intercept the high. Wait, what I'm talking about. But well, yeah, Mutas, please don't intercept the High Templars. Don't kill them for free.
Oh my gosh, Hydra Muta combo, and look at this. The Hydras in the middle of the map are going to cut them off, so that's going to force the units to fight. However, those storms were amazing, and the Hydras get blown up. But we've got Hydras in the mineral line. But I think this was a misstep from Zerg. He's going to lose so much.
He's losing everything, Nyoken. He lose the Mutas, he lose the Hydras, and he lose the 4 expansion as well, or was a cancel, I don't know.
Yeah, it was it probably most likely cancel. Zealots pop out, so the Hydras are going to be dealt with. The Mutas are trying to get some probe kills, but they don't have the magic number of 5, so it's going to take them a long time to actually rack up probe kills. We've now got supply lead for Protoss, even if it's just slightly. Goodbye, Mutas.
Not only that, he has such a big army that he can attack from the high ground now, and that is super dangerous because, like, there is no way to surround the army. There is no way to attack for multiple directions, and you are just like going to face a storm.
Yeah, but he's aware of that, so he's just counterattacking, and Protoss' army is way out of position. I don't think Zerg is going to hold this, but he's trying to with the Mutas and the Sunken. That's a good Muta catch right there. Hydras are at the natural, though.
I don't know what's going on anymore. This Protoss army is split.
Yeah, it's split up.
I don't know if you can defend or...
It's not synced up. Look at this. Hydras are trading so well versus Zealot Goons. Now finally you're going to get here, but the Mutas are here. He's going to pick off the Templars. Not before a storm.
think just in time he got to defend that. But it's a pretty close trade. I mean, it's a very close trade because there is no still tier expansion for Snow, so I would say Jaedong is still alive.
Yeah, I think Jaedong may be doing it right now. He still has his third base somehow. He's having to build constantly these expensive Mutalisks, though.
Oh!
Snow desperately needs to get another base, like you said, though. The Mutas have killed a ton of probes, though, so I'm not sure if he even has the money to do that. You can see he's even building more cannons at his natural. We've got another engagement in the center of the map. A lot of Zealots, a lot of Goons. I think Protoss is going to win this fight.
Yeah. How are the Greys looking? I didn't really took a look at that the Greys for sure. Is there him on +2 already?
I also didn't get a catch of that. We're at 14 minutes, so I think if he's not +2, it should be pretty close. It is +1.
Oh, +1. Okay. Well, Jaedong making almost like a ninja expansion. And like I say, Protoss is going to be mine now, so he either just focus on spending or go for it. I don't think going for it is going to work, to be honest.
Well, we do have the 1-2 upgrades for Protoss, and that's a big advantage for him to be up in armor versus just +1 weapons. Good denial of the third base, and Jaedong is going to be able to retreat these Hydras, but this fourth base might get knocked down.
Something that is happening in a repetitive manner is that Snow is punishing all these counterattacks. Each time he's actually killing many Hydras.
Yeah, the storms have been on point, and we've got Hydras trying to deny the third base again, but there's just a little bit too much there. That was probably a storm that killed all that, and that fourth base does die. And it seems like Jaedong just doesn't have the critical mass he needs to trade effectively versus Snow. That's a lot of Mutas again, but that's like 20 supply, right? Mutas aren't exactly the greatest unit. He really needs more Hydras, but he just can't build them.
No!
Oh, devastating storms.
Okay, he eats some storms in those Mutas. They can't do anything. They're out of the game for some minutes. I mean, Snow is about to mine out. That's the only good thing. It's Snow is going to be missing resources and going to be fighting on one base probably. But make no mistake, Jaedong also needs his own expansion.
Yeah, Jaedong, I haven't seen a lurker the whole game. Don't even know if he has that upgrade. We know that he's still on Lair because we got a glimpse of it in the natural. So there's no hive, so that means there's going to be no +3 weapon coming anytime soon. So Snow, yes, he's going to get his third base, and this is going to be the breathing room he needs to stabilize that base. And it looks like
Jaedong being the whole game with 11 Mutas. He's remaking these Mutas over and over and over. That's 100 minerals, 100 gas. That's very expensive.
Yeah, it's ridiculously expensive. He's traded decently well. He's gotten a lot of Templar kills and a good chunk of probes, but he just can't fight this ground army with his Hydras. There's just way too much storm, way too many goons.
All that storm is easy. Oh my god.
And Snow's on top of it, man. He just knows where the Mutas are at all points. He hasn't lost basically a single Templar without getting a storm off. So really well done keeping track of those things.
I ask myself what is stopping Snow right now from moving out really, because he's right now just chilling. Is he planning to take a new base as well?
Yeah, of course Snow doesn't realize that Zerg doesn't have lurkers behind this. He doesn't realize that Zerg's built 1 billion Templars or 1 billion Mutalisks. That's a good storm.
Jaedong with a nice trap.
Oh, but he's gonna lose all of his Hydras. Oh, third base can get busted though, but Protoss already has defensive Templars here. This is not gonna work out at all. Oh man.
Oh, that's too many losses, because
wow.
That's too many losses.
That's endless storm, and he loses basically all of his Mutalisks also. So I think Jaedong at this point has to do something. Yes, he has 4 bases, but Protoss is, as I say, that takes a 4th base. And Protoss is up in upgrades too, so this is just a really, really tough scenario for Jaedong to play out of.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
it's only Hydras really. It's only Hydras. And now the 4 base is also losing the drones.
Yep, and Hydras are bleeding off on these bridges. What was very close supply a minute ago, 145 to 135, is now 135 to 85. Just a massive lead for Snow. And he's got high ground 4th base. He can just leave Templars there, and they're going to trade so ridiculously well.
No doesn't know Jaedong has lurkers because, like right now, like there is no way for Jaedong to contain. He's just like placing a lot of Hydras in those bridges, but that is easy to break without lurkers.
Yeah, if he knew there were no lurkers, he would probably just plow through. He's got so much AoE with the Templars. He also has a Dark Archon for Maelstrom. That DT's on hold position, which still hasn't been spotted.
I'm very afraid for Jaedong's future in this game because so far 3 bases against 3 bases. I mean, it's not ready by now, but the resources battle is going for the Protoss now with this new expansion.
Look at this. The Overlord doesn't even have speed, man. So DTs are always going to be a threat.
Oh, he even saved on that.
Yeah, he saved it. So it's going to come back later. And we've got a 50 supply lead for Snow. We were talking about how Snow was going to be mining out his main and natural soon. But we haven't talked about how Jaedong's also going to mine out his main and natural soon. So it's going to be 2 base Zerg in just a moment versus 2 base Protoss, where Protoss has a 50 supply lead.
And no lurkers. No.
Oh my gosh.
No. I don't even know. There is no hive, right? There is probably no hive.
Yeah, it's just lair. There's no hive, no lurkers. There's no overlord here either. The DT could sneak in and get more kills. Finally, there's some lurkers. There's actually a lot of lurkers now. 10 or so of them. DT may finally get picked off.
Yeah, but I feel like the Jaedong expansion is like very easy to break. The 4th expansion, I mean.
Well, of Protoss or Zerg?
No, the Zerg expansion. Jaedong 4. Well, at least he makes now like 2 spores or spore sunken.
Yeah, I think Shuttle just needs to track where the lurkers are when he comes in here with this observer. Probably sees them up there and should just go for... Well, I guess he doesn't necessarily need to attack if he just denies bases. Oh, actually, he can storm from the low ground.
That is true. He can deny that. He can deny the mining.
Oh,
You're making all this defense for nothing.
That's super annoying. Now what does he do? Like, he can't mine there anymore. There's so many Templars. Protoss can just sit over these bridges, just hold position and take bases behind it.
Yeah, he has to because there is no way Protoss go and break that. I just saw that there is so many lurkers and units that it's impossible to go in.
Yeah, there's just no way you're gonna break it. So smartly, he is just gonna camp, and Jaedong's gonna camp also. He's gonna go into mass lurkers into a defensive position, but he's running out of money, man. He has no map control. Protoss could theoretically take bottom left or top right if he wants.
Yeah, so far, Snow, the way I see it, he can keep denying mining, maybe making some rivers to be more aggressive.
He could do that. Oh, that's another good storm. You know, I wouldn't even hate if he got mind control, because he's just sitting here, right? He could just mind control a unit for free, just sit here, mind control again. Just constantly steal units over and over, whether it's a drone, overlord, lurker. That's just money that you're never getting back ever.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but only one mind control, that's a bit trolly, right? Like,
yeah.
Maybe if you make like 10 Archons and like start stealing units, that's game changing.
Look at this. Well, this is cancer. He has nothing to deal with these Templars. Anytime he moves in here, he's risking getting Maelstrom. So he's just got to accept that he can't mine this.
Mutas denying the new Snow expansion.
Yeah, but it's only 5 mutas. Protoss doesn't care about 5 mutas. And these, oh my gosh, another drone transfer that's going to get instantly sniped. Look at the Snow's minimap. He's just constantly looking at this position to storm it over and over and over.
Yeah, I think Jaedong probably just waiting for the fighter, right? Like, try to do something with that.
That's a attempted run by that gets instantly stormed to death.
I mean, can deny the expansion again?
Yeah, he'll deny it, but...
Are those adrenaline links? No, they didn't. Are they?
I think they are.
You can't tell.
I think he must have Hive now. We're almost 25 minutes into the game. More storms, just killing everything.
Yeah, man. Can you believe that Jaedong took that expansion like 6 minutes ago and he didn't actually like use it?
I know, that's so crazy. This is just... There's just no hope. Like, you can't mine here. I wonder if you can even build... Can you build in the
filers? The filers. The filers are out.
Well, Dark Swarm doesn't help versus Storm, so... This is painful.
Yeah, if something is going to happen, it has to be with the filer. I don't know what it's gonna be, to be honest. Secure one expansion. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe try to kill the Protoss army. Honestly, I don't know what can Jaedong do in this position. It's such a tricky position to be in.
Yeah, and this is a 2-player map. There's no other bases to take except for top right and top left. And Protoss is already in position at both. He's going to catch all these lanes, catch all these mutas. Maybe the muta gets a Templar kill, but that's it.
Oh, man.
We've got the Defiler. He's got to do something. Like, we can't just sit here forever and get stormed.
I mean, the Snow's army is so split that even with the fire, there is no way you kill all.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to kill all of it. And also, Zerg's down 70 supply now, so he doesn't even get past the bridges.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit painful now for Jaedong. I think, to be honest, I don't see a way for him to win this.
Oh, he transferred the drones to mine, and they get instantly stormed. Oh, there was the Maelstrom. Here comes an incoming Ling Lurker attack. There's actually no Zealots here, so the Lurkers may actually survive. No, there's just flat out a billion storms.
Oh man, Stormman.
It's the hand of Zeus raining down onto these Zerg units, hitting a lot of the Hydras, hitting the Defilers. There's only one Defiler remaining. That single Lurker. Oh, actually, the Defiler just got fed back. That's gone. I think we're going to see the GG in a second. Jaedong just, he lost his entire army.
That could be like a really nice draw, you know. But there are people that actually like paint. That was a good one with the swarm.
Yeah, that was really good there. Somehow this base is mining, but not for long with those Templars coming in. And he evacuates instantly. Look at Jaedong's money. 58 minerals, that's it. We're not mining anymore.
Indeed.
Oh my gosh, the Defiler gets feedbacked again and hits dead. Just a stranglehold on this game. Snow was ruthless. He knew he didn't have to attack, just deny mid-right. And that's exactly what he's done here.
Yeah, Snow plays some really nice mind games in this game. Put himself in a good position. Made some critical decisions with the defense that actually play in his favor. So, yeah, no disrespect at all to Snow. I think he played a really solid game.
Yeah, it was really well done. Jaedong had great Hydras and Mutas in the beginning, but in the end, it was too much Snow. The storms were amazing all game long, and the upgrades really kicked in. He traded cost effectively every single battle.
Yeah, Snow advancing first. I am pretty sure there are many people that are not going to be shocked with this result. But for me, that I was like rooting for Jaedong. My only hope is that regain, chill, focus on the next one. Yes, you know what? We see you in the next stage.
Yeah, I don't think Jaedong's going to lose his cool after that loss. I think he's just going to watch the replay, evaluate what went wrong, and try and come up with a better game plan if he has to face another Protoss, or face Shuttle, I mean, in the Deciders match. But well done from Snow. That puts, what, is that a third Protoss into the round of 16, I think? I can't remember the exact count, but we're going to go into the interview with him.
He's probably very happy, man. Just won an amazing game.
Yeah, I'm sure he's feeling fantastic, especially taking down someone like Jaedong, who's obviously a strong, very strong opponent. But that does set us up for Shuttle versus Bishop in our losers match. You have any thoughts on that particular matchup?
Indeed, like I was mentioning early on, this is probably a conflictive take. I will going to take going to make, but I feel like if someone like Bishop comes here, show an amazing game, even if he loses, but he shows like he has it. Instead of like going for a quick two factories to try to win the game, I think he's going to gain more from that, in my opinion.
I
I
agree.
just want to see, like, even if he lose, bro, like, just show what you have. Like, show me that you can actually, like, you know what, you lose this time, but I'm pretty sure next time you are going to, like, kill it.
Yeah, Bishop's a good player. If you're making it into ASL as random, that's quite impressive. This time around, making it in as Terran, he's got a shot versus Shuttle, but Shuttle is also a pretty darn good Protoss versus Terran specialist. It's going to be tough. Just like Snow, he does like carriers, but also I would say Shuttle's like Arbiter play and macro play is slightly stronger than Snow's. Maybe not as good of the Reaver play, but definitely equally or better macro from Shuttle. So if Bishop can get a third base, get a fourth base, maybe he can win fights, trade effectively with his own macro, but it's going to be very tough.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's very solid with any kind of build. It's very solid in PvT overall. If you think about it, he won an ASL against Terran, against Sharp, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's a champion.
Yeah, I think he was the first champion of ASL. We are going to have another two-player map, I'm pretty sure. Most likely Dark Origin will be the map pick. And it is a map that looks like it could be split. And Terrans generally do okay on split maps. However, thinking about the terrain layout, the bridges, the high grounds everywhere, this could be a good carrier map, and I do know that Shuttle likes carriers, so I'll be looking for that in the mid game if you were going to see like 3 Stargates get plopped down.
Yeah, and that origin seems we didn't really get there, but that origin seems like a really like a hard map to put defense on, like these split games. Like, I feel like there is so much space and to Protoss to be aggressive, to make a recall, or just like to change direction with the carriers. Like, it's going to be like hard for Terran.
Yeah, the main looked quite wide. Definitely shuttles could be mass produced and sent to the main constantly. Could also be mass recalls. Also, we never actually saw that back ramp that I was talking about. That will also be something that Terran has to consider, or Protoss consider, for Vulture run by, or the fantasy style drops with Vultures and tanks. And we are going into a break, and then we'll be back with our losers match, which is, as you see, Shuttle versus Bishop.
Congrats to Snow, man. Passing first. Good job, good job. So go.
And we are back. Oh my gosh! We got 7-6 Eonzerg. Double Nemesis man.
Man, what a welcome, bro. Like, I thought something happened.
I can't believe it, man.
I thought you were in danger or something, man.
Well, 7-6, man. We've been waiting for it the whole season. Finally, we're going to get a TVP of all matches. Like I said, this map, there's no gas at the natural. So what does Terran do to get a base? Or what does Terran do to get gas? He's going to have to take mid-right or mid-left the islands. I guess any of those mid-bases have double gas there. But what's his comp going to be? For me, I feel like it has to be like Goliath. Like just mass Goliath. I don't see what other comp you're going to play.
Well, I think they actually make some tanks early on, because they spend it in the natural first with the mina only. Well, from the games I have seen, some of them goes like that. They spend like a normal game, like with the CC in the natural, and then they try to defend it from the high ground with the tanks. So like. It's going to be a game where like the mobility is Goliaths and draw chips, but we're going to see tanks as well. We are going to see them for sure.
Yeah,
they are important.
You have to have some tanks. The question to me is just how many are there going to be, and I wonder if this was calculated from Bishop here. Like to me, I just would never try and get into a scenario where 7-6 has even a chance on the. Of being picked. But this is going to be exciting. We're finally going to see a new map, and it is Bishop versus Shuttle. So let's get into our losers match. Loser here is going to be eliminated from ASL.
Elimination match.
So in the top right, our red Protoss player, it is Shuttle, and in the top left, our Terran, it is Bishop.
By the way, Nyoken, this is when I've been like, I'm so glad this map actually is in the ASL, because this map has some mechanics and some really nice characteristics I like. Like this mineral boosting early on, it really speed up your timings. There are a lot of new play styles we're seeing with this new map. That for example, Terran versus Protoss is going to be so active compared to the standard, just like siege, macro, make the big army and move. We're going to see a lot of fights all over the place with many expansions, multiple expansions from both players, and this like mobility with the shuttles. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, this mineral feature, like you're saying, it is a very cool feature. I could see other map makers experimenting with just putting it in a normal map. Can you imagine playing circuit breakers with this boost, or like fighting spirit or something normalish? Like how it would change the openers of both players. It would be cool to see. We do see actually so far everything's very normal. We don't have anything absurd going on. We've got depot wall again. We've got racks coming out. Okay, what's that SCV doing? He's not mining gas, and there we go. We've got a 2 racks from Bishop.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that coming. That pretty much killed all the hype I had with the playstyle I was explaining. But at the same time, I mean, the ramp, if you look at it, is so, like, the gap is so small. Silos are so tanky that I can see just like one Gateway River holding this.
Yeah, if he gets a Reaver though, he may have no idea this is coming. We've got gas coming down, and it is going to be an academy. I thought it might just be non-stop Marines with no tech at all, like no stim, no anything, just try and plow through with Marines SCV drill. But no, this is actually going to be Marine medic. And I thought if you weren't going to play Goliath, we could see something like this, maybe supported with Wraith. I know that sounds crazy, but I have seen Light get victories with Marine Medic Wraith on maps like Ringing Bloom. SCV does come in here, and it is going to, I think that's the robotics, So this is going to be a one base play, and that means Bishop's on a timer here. He's got to win with his push. Otherwise, there's no mid game for him. He'll just flat out die.
By the way, that Sarah, I don't know how it's called that, but that Sarah sink that is close to the ramp is so Sarah can make a sunken.
Oh, is
because
it?
in this map you can, like early on, you can jump and get the double gas, so that way Sarah can defend the sunken.
Okay.
Can defend the entry.
So just like on Ringing Bloom, they accounted for the ability for Zerg to have a defensive posture. And so that's a nice feature. This SV's got to be tilted to see that the Robo's so quick. So he's really, like I said, he has one timing, and that's it. If this is an... Go ahead.
On top of that, there is a Zero outside the Terran base. And this is like, there is no factory or dodge or anything to go. Like, I mean, I'm so sorry for Bishop and taking this build to do.
Oh, he's got a shot. It's an observatory. So that means that there's not going to be a fast shuttle, not going to be a fast Reaver. And there's no range. There's no upgrades for Protoss at all. The Zealot and the Probe have both backed off. So this is actually manageable. He could pull SCVs with this. I think, in fact, he should go for that. We'll see if he decides for that. He's got the scanners, right? So he can scan and then drill through the ramp. Oh, he does scan. Okay, now if Protoss saw it, that's what he's doing. If Protoss saw it, he's going to go instant Reaver.
Oh man, is this what we call the Hahn timing? But I don't know. But I mean, Shuttle, I don't even know how he's going to hold.
Yeah, he has no upgrades. That's the thing. It'd be different if he had range and, you know, a couple more goons, but he has nothing here. He has like, what's this? 2 goons, 1 zealot, and probes. That's it. I also saw no support base. It's just 2 gate. Here we go. This is it. This is what it all comes down to. SCVs get in there. Oh, this is gonna be such a tough hold. Look at the zealots and goons bugging out.
I think.
I think he's done it.
Yeah.
These goons are caught. Oh well, maybe not. It is still 6 Marines. He does have 3 medics, so they're not going to run out of energy. But look at all of the SCVs have died. If he
no. This is it.
If he gets the pylon, it's over. Oh my gosh! If he gets it, here comes the probe drill. He has nothing to drill on though, so they're just falling in one at a time. The focus fire, the goons are gone, and Shuttle. I can't believe it. Bishop is gonna knock him out. What a way to put your mark on this ASL by eliminating one of the strongest Protoss players.
In amazing fashion as well.
He was not expecting this at all. This was just a complete misread from him. He needed that support bay ASAP, but he went observatory, man. Look at him. He can't believe it.
Yeah, man. GG.
What a sick move from Bishop there with the 1 base. So I guess he did have it calculated. He was hoping that it would be double Nemesis ban because that was a calculated play. And I love the scan and drill from the SCVs.
I don't know why he actually he retreated the Zero, to be honest. Like what is the reason? Why actually you have free vision and you actually go back to the Zero to your base? Why?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly because to get a vulture or a tank out, you have to float the factory down. So maybe he was confused, thinking, okay, this guy's hiding factories out in the map, so I want to look for it. But it wasn't the case that time, and the lack of vision for him definitely hurt him, and it cost him his tournament. And that means we do have Bishop versus Jaedong as our deciders match.
Rematch from the ASL qualifiers.
Rematch, man. And Jaedong looked very formidable in our earlier games, but Bishop has he's come to play. If you don't scout this guy, you've got to account for everything because he's willing to 2-fact on 1 base, willing to 2 racks on 1 base versus Protoss, literally everything.
By the way, Nyoken, this time it's the best of 1, but Bishop played Jaedong in the ASL qualifier a best of 3.
Damn, that makes it even more impressive. But this is going to make it even more cutthroat with just having one life. We're going into a break, and then we'll be back with our final game of the day. All right, we are back, and this is our final game of the day, and we're going to get retro. Both Jaedong and Bishop vetoed Sylphid, so we're going to have more of a standard map this time.
Yeah. But you know what? It's not really a map that the third player can abuse Muta Micro in the open ground. It's not one of these maps. Like it's so open. It's like that there is not this high grounds or I don't feel that this is a terrible map for Bishop when it comes to Micro against Mutas in the open ground.
Okay, well maybe we'll see something like a 5 racks then, or like a big econ 4 racks, try and get out onto the map, try and fight Mutas there out in the center, deny the third base. Wonder what Jaedong will pull out. If he's thinking like you, where maybe Mutas aren't very good, maybe we could see lurkers. I mean, I know that's super uncommon, but you know, Jaedong, he's willing to risk it all with any type of opener if he feels like that's his best shot at winning.
We can even see a 5 pull from this guy right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a pool opener, honestly. I don't know about 5 pool, but a pool opener versus Bishop, who has been aggressive in both games. I think the likelihood that Bishop, like BBS's or 8 raxes, is decently high at this point. So I wouldn't mind an early pool. Overpool maybe could be good.
Yeah, no, but it's Jaedong. For real, he has won championships doing 5 pull.
Yeah, he has.
So I'm not really not going to limit him. Can do anything.
All right, players are ready. Let's get into our final game of the day. And in the top right, getting a solid victory with a cheese against Shuttle, it is Bishop. And meanwhile, in the top left, the tyrant himself, it is Jaedong.
Yeah. Well, now we know Bishop is playing aggressive builds. Why slow down now? Maybe an Agrax?
It could be. And by the way, that sign said something about revenge. So even the crowd is aware that Bishop got Jaedong's number. But that guy in particular really wants Jaedong to take down Bishop in this series. So far, we see normal openers. There's no SCV being sent out, so no 8 racks. That was an Overlord, so it's not an early pool.
Yeah, so far, very standard game. What is the supply? Okay, it's making it now.
Right, well, I was going to say, I'm looking at the naturals, how the bases are laid out, and it does look like it could be pretty well designed for turrets, limiting or making it a little bit easier for Bishop to defend, like you were saying, versus the Mutas. And we do have an early pool opener, so Jaedong is aware that Bishop has been playing aggressive, and he is going to be aggressive, but it's going to be more eco-based. This is an 11 racks, 11 gas, so this is going to be some type of tech play. Doesn't necessarily mean mech. Could be Wraith or 111.
By the way, super drastic change to the game right now. Jaedong is doing an overpull, and Bishop is doing a factory build. That this is actually like really good for Bishop right now.
And why is that? Is it because the larva count's low? Is it because the sunken's going to be slow? What's the reason that you don't like facing Vulture opener with an overpool?
Oh, late hatchery. The settling timing is not really killing timing. So Jaedong, I don't expect him to actually do any damage with these serlings. Ulysse, of course. Bishop missed the scouting. All the serlings go to the main, and he only has 1 marine.
Yeah, often with this build, you start cutting right now. And if 4 lings get in here, he may already be dead. He unfortunately went the wrong direction with his scout, and he's dead. Well, maybe dead's not the right word, but he's going to take a lot of economic damage right now.
He's dead. That barrack is flying. He's never going to leave that barrack again.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Yep, you can't let 6 Lings into your base. You only have 1 Marine, and unfortunately for Bishop, whether or not he dies here or not, this was not the... Oh, wow, actually, those SCVs already killed 3 Lings. That's surprising. He hasn't lost a single SCV yet. This was fantastic defense from Bishop. Look at the micro on the SCVs. I can't believe it.
Yeah, but that's a lot of eco damage as well.
Okay, now he catches 2 SCVs, and I would say that is definitely worth now 3 SCVs and killing a Marine, and he sees that, of course, it was tech, and he knows that now it's not going to be 1-1-1, it's going to be an expansion timing.
Yeah, Coulter is out, Lings are clean, Jaedong on 3 hatcheries, really good eco. I mean, he can even like go 3 hatcheries Hydra if he wants, in my opinion.
Yeah, Bishop put back onto gas. I think the move here is, since he sees it's 3 hatch, since he sees everything's delayed, he sees a tank, and obviously vultures aren't going to run by. I'd actually like to see him go tank 1 base academy and just try and push to victory, because I don't think you can transition out of it at this point. I think you've taken too much damage, but he's setting up like he's going to build like another factory or a starport.
Hydra then. Like you mentioned, yeah, it seems like it's a siege rush.
Yep, we've got tank being built, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the Overlord. Overlord is going to scout this.
I don't think he's going to see it. I think the angle's a little bit off. He's going to miss it, but... Oh, he doesn't have an Overlord outside the natural, so he doesn't know if this is actually a command center or not. But look at how much Bishop's cutting. He has like 10 SCVs total. That's it. Vulture denies the Ling getting in.
Okay, interesting. By numbers, I will say, like Jaedong 3 hatcheries and producing Hydras non-stop, I don't think he dies to this, but it all depends how many units actually Jaedong makes, because he has no idea what's going on. Yeah. And it seems like there is a Ling speed timing as well, so he's for sure scouting this.
Yeah,
face to face.
These Lings are going to kill all the Marines. Maybe. Nope, maybe not. None of the Marines died, in fact. And this is a sub... Okay, he's built... Look at this. He didn't even scout really at all. And he was already building Lings because he knew Bishop was going for some type of all-in. I think Lings are the correct move here. You don't need tons of Hydras. Just get tons of Lings and like 5-6 Hydras and you're fine.
Yeah, it seems like Jaedong just made the Hydra then to deal with a possible starport, but there is no starport after all, and he's going lair. That's a lot of Sterlings.
Well, you do have to be careful having this amount of Lings. I don't know if I was expecting this specific amount, because this is a ton. If you run into a mine, you could literally lose your entire army, so he does still need to be careful. Good control from Bishop right there.
Yeah, looks like Jaedong. Jaedong actually intercepting the tanks? No. Why going to the main? Man, this Jaedong is crazy. It's got 8 Sterlings now in the main.
Yeah, you can see Bishop recognize the counterattack. He tried to get the vultures or get the factory right next to the barracks for a complete wall, but ended up not working out, and that's going to allow Jaedong to rack up so many kills. Look how many SCVs he has total. It's at 6. That's it. That's the entirety of his econ. So if he wants to win this game, he's got to go now, and this is all he's going to have to push with.
Yeah, there is a lot of something. I think this is it already. Like, well, Spires is a bit far away, but with the amount of Sunkens and Lings he can produce, like, I think Jaedong is just has done it.
Yeah, there's no way that Bishop can survive or be able to push to victory. Jaedong has Spire almost done. He's got enough resources to build enough mutas to knock all these down. This looks like a 1999 game. You're playing Lost Temple, you're tank pushing at this point in the game. But unfortunately, this is not 1999. This is 2023, where Zergs know how to deal with this. You just build Sunkens, you buy time, and then you just wait for the mutas to clean everything up.
Wow. What a game. I didn't see this type of game, but I mean, it is what it is, man. Mutas are about to kick in.
the only hope for him if there was like some way he could shoot down the eggs, but he's not able to. And with those out on the map, he knows that this is his fate. He is going to be eliminated from the ASL. He had some clever builds today. Very slick build versus Shuttle on 76. I even liked his build on Heartbreak Ridge. It was just a little bit too slow. But unfortunately, his season is over. And Jaedong, he is going to get revenge.
Jaedong advance. Jaedong to the next round.
Yep, so I think it kind of went as expected today. A lot of players thought, or at least my opinion is, a lot of players thought Snow would make it in. And then up in the air for me between Shuttle and Jaedong. And Jaedong is actually the one that's going to make it out in second place. So well done from him. And you can see Bishop, he had stuff planned. It just didn't work out this final game.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm not going to be so hard on him for the last game because, I mean, it can happen. Imagine that CB just won like top right, top left, and he scouted the Starlings. He's probably blocking that easy.
Yeah, he would have taken no damage. In fact, he held pretty well for only having one Marine and having no intel that the attack was actually coming. It was quite impressive SCV play, but Jaedong, ruthless with the relentless assault of Lings to make sure that no timing attacks would get him, and he deservedly makes it into the next round.
Yeah. By the way, nice showing for Bishop. Probably people are going to expect him to do well in the next ASL if he qualifies.
Yeah, we really wanted to see a macro game from him, but if what you practiced was all-ins like we had seen, you just got to go with what you practice. And sometimes they were effective, like the 76 game. Sometimes they weren't, just how it goes. But, you know, a long time ago, there was a player named Flash. He cheesed forever, and he was known as a big cheeser. And then look at him now. He's on top of the world. So maybe in future seasons, Bishop will be able to prove himself a little bit better. But we're getting to an interview with Jaedong, and I'm sure he's very excited. And I know the fans are very excited that he made it out.
Yeah, man. This guy is a legion.
He is
3 OSLs, 2 MSLs. I think he won the Gone Classic as well. That was a Gone Star League.
I'm not sure of all the titles he has, but I know he has a lot, and he is definitely a living legend. And getting into the round of 16, you know, I think last season he was eliminated in the round of 16 also, so he's on track to improve this time around.
I think it's the only third player to be above 80% of CBC victories.
Oh, that is true. His ZVZ is by far, or was by far, his best matchup. We saw in the profile stats in ASL, it was actually his worst matchup, at least in ASL, sitting at around 30%. But yes, it was for a long time not called Zerg versus Zerg. It was Jaedong versus Zerg, JVZ, because he was next level, man.
Yeah, Jaedong, man. Jaedong is back. I'm really curious how far he can go this time. I'm really like, I will be rooting for him for sure.
Yeah, I was happy to see the Heartbreak Ridge game where it was big time macro, and then also the Dark Origin game, which was big time macro, because it felt like in previous seasons, for whatever reasons, when you got into a game with Jaedong, you knew at some point he was going to all in, whether it was into Protoss or whether it was into Terran. We didn't really see big macro from him. It was always like either an early game or mid game timing. So finally, I'm happy to see that he's confident, just sitting there, just getting his econ going and going for late game, because he can definitely bring it to these Protoss and Terran players. He's got the macro for it, for sure.
Yeah, no, this is an amazing mechanic player. I have seen this guy being so behind many. I don't know if you remember this game. Jaedong against Stork on double CG. They play on Taucros. Stork DT drop him, HT drop, like put him so behind, and Jaedong just by pure mechanics come back into the game and won that.
That's sick. There's nobody like Jaedong back in the day, man. He was the go-to Zerg. And it is really nice to see that he's making back, because a lot of people I have read thought that Jaedong, he can't do it anymore. You know, he's too old. He's not going to be able to do it. The newcomers like Soma they're the ones to beat nowadays. But I'm not on that train, man. I'm a believer in the Dong right here.
Yeah, no, there is no deny that his skills are not what they used to, or I don't know if he's like having a hard time adapting to the new play styles and timings and these boring maps that don't allow too much aggression. But yeah, for sure, this is Jaedong, man. Like this guy on stage is a different player.
Yeah, this is definitely not ladder. Whatever you think of his ability on ladder, he's a totally different class of player on the stage, and he brought it.
This
today.
is the guy that I see him playing pro leagues, and he loses his game, and he's so disappointed. It's crazy to see that. You know, the next time he's going to try 2 times harder to not really feel that again.
Yeah, he wants to win, man, for sure. That's why when you look at him on the stage, he's serious business. We are not messing around. We're not smiling. We're not even happy about winning our first match. We're only happy getting the championship. We don't care about making about round of 16. We want the championship title. Yes, he's happy now, but I think that's because last season went so poorly for him, and he obviously has high expectations for himself.
To be honest, I think a bad thing from this group, some best of one. I think any player will be happy, you know, because sometimes mistakes happen. So yeah, I think like later on when it's already best of 3, best of 5, there is less punishment. To be honest, like best of 1 is brutal, bro.
It is brutal. Luckily, for him on out, there's not going to be any more best of ones, I think, except for maybe like the first round of the round of 16. But there will be best of 3s at least for the elimination and decider matches. And we're getting a rundown of how today's games went. As you can see, Snow took down Bishop. Then we had Jaedong taking down Shuttle in a really big macro game. Snow taking down Jaedong on Dark Origin. Then, the first time we saw all season, 76 Bishop with the Marine Medic SCV bust onto Shuttle, eliminating Shuttle. And then unfortunately, Bishop's all in, not working out versus Jaedong. And that gives us 5 Terrans, 4 Zergs, 3 Protoss, all of the Protoss representatives coming through the round of 24. No seedings for them.
Yeah, if you ask me, a bit disappointed performance by Shuttle. But overall, if I'm honest with the predictions, I expected like Jaedong and Snow to advance, so it didn't really change too much.
Yep, and we've got Group E coming up tomorrow, so get your alarm clock out. Make sure it's set, because we're going to have another fantastic group. I think tomorrow's group is Queen, Ruin.
Yes, sir, double champion. ASL, double champion ASL.
Yep, and we've got Mong and Shine also in that group. And during one of the breaks, we had the highlights of Mong and Shine. And one of my favorite games was in that highlight, which was the Andromeda Nidus from Shine. And it caught Mong completely off guard. These two seem to have so many epic games. And they said the stats was 1-4 in favor of Shine. So Mong looking to get a little bit of redemption this time around.
I remember now. They used to have this nickname for Shine, Bag of Bills. I remember they interviewed him because he has to face Flash in the ASL final. And he say like, "Oh yes, I have like 10 years old strategies prepared for Flash."
Yeah, he's got everything, man. He's an innovator. That last season, the lurker push through the wall on Odyssey, that was an insane strategy. It ended up not working, but it was still very clever, something you never see. You only see from players like Shine who are willing to risk everything for all in or really crazy build orders.
And Ruin is back again.
Yep, Ruin is back, and he, there weren't very many ASL highlights for him, but they did have some of the Team League highlights, and he performed very, very well, just like Royal did last season. But it's going to be a tough matchup for him versus Queen, because as you stated, Queen, 2-time former ASL champ, and Queen is a monster. He created the 973, so he obviously has perfected it. It will be a really tough battle for Ruin there.
Yeah, Queen, he actually dropped it a bit. It was an interesting case. I don't know if it was about winning too much, and then it's like, yeah, because he won the ASL back to back, and then I was like, you know what, he can actually win this tier one as well, but he dropped it for a while, and I'm curious how far he is going to go in this ASL.
Yeah, it is true. In the past couple seasons, Queen hasn't gone as far as you expect him to go, but I'm sure he's worked a lot recently. I'm sure he's looking to improve on his past performances, and he's gonna be a big threat to contend with the championship this time around.
Yeah, man, he better drink some hot six tomorrow.
Yeah. Hot
because
six.
It's going to be fire.
It will be fire indeed. I think even though I like Queen the most out of the entire group, just because of the rivalry that Shine and Mong have, I hope that they get to face off not just once, but also twice, because that will be very exciting games for sure, especially on maps like 7-6 or even Retro at the end.
But Nyoken, if it is 1-4, is it really a rivalry, or it's more like?
Well, I mean, maybe it's a domination for Shine, but I think Mong thinks it's a rivalry for sure, because he definitely wants to kill, or at least if I was Mong, I would definitely want to kill Shine. And it looks like casters are giving us the signal that it is time to go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will be back tomorrow with Group E.
See you tomorrow.